Well, hi guys, my name is Linga. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I do quite a few things. I am a rapper, a speaker, an artist, a creative. I'm a small business owner. I work full-time in social media, and I love to make YouTube content like this and share life with you guys and share tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way, as well as fashion and all the things that are just fun and lifestyle. And so if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about how I took a solo trip in the UK for an entire month. One of the first things you want to keep in mind as you're traveling are travel restrictions. When I traveled to the UK in 2021 in the month of August, it was in the middle of, I think the UK was starting to roll back certain restrictions, and so I had to keep a really close eye on it because things were kind of changing back and forth, and if you weren't up to date, it would affect your vacation. It appears that as of June 2022, all of the restrictions concerning travel between the US and the UK are currently not in place, and it looks like whether you're vaccinated or not, you can travel between these two countries without even having to take a negative test. That could change, and from what I read on the website, it does appear that that is subject to change, and so you definitely just want to keep an eye out for any restrictions because they can affect your trip, how much you end up spending, and all that stuff. When I was traveling, I had to pay for a test when I was leaving the UK, and all of those places were kind of expensive. I think that there were a lot of people in the UK making profit off of getting people to take COVID tests. So you just want to keep an eye out and make sure that you've done your research ahead of time so you know where to go and take your test if you need to do that, so that you can save a little bit of money. I do understand the temptation when you're traveling internationally, especially if you think it's going to be a longer trip. I understand the temptation to want to feel like you need to pack so much stuff, but I want to tell you, please pack light. It will save you so much time, so much hassle, and make just maneuvering around the UK so much easier if you just carry with you a carry-on bag and then either a backpack or some sort of duffel as your hand luggage. That is all you need. You don't need more than that. I went to the UK for 21 days and I only carried a carry-on and a backpack, and I literally had every single thing I needed. I carried several pairs of pants, I had skirts, I had like 3 or 4 dresses, I had some nicer shoes that I could wear out to like dinner, I had like sneakers, I had flip-flops for like the beach and stuff. I had just a bunch of t-shirts. I literally carried, and I'm not kidding, like 40 pairs of underwear. Every time I go on vacation, I literally have no explanation for this, but I take so much underwear. I don't even use it all on my trip. I just do it. So I literally had so much underwear with me, but I had everything that I needed. I put it all in packing cubes, and there was still room on the top. I had a couple of sweaters that I threw in on the top. I'm telling you, you don't need to overpack. Just take enough. Look into capsule wardrobe. You don't have to actually have a capsule wardrobe, but I think especially when you're going on a vacation like this, I think it's a good idea to look into it and kind of get some ideas. Look in your closet, make sure you like some of the outfits and some of the shirts that you have. Try them with a few of your, like with the same bottoms, but like rotate a few outfits. Like, it's very easy. I think the whole time I was in the UK, I never repeated an outfit. I had something new to wear every day. And so I would recommend packing light. I would recommend packing intentionally, just because the UK is a very, very walkable city. It's not like in the US where you kind of need to drive everywhere or you're going to end up leaving stuff in the hotel. I think if you're doing the UK, you're probably going to be, unless you're only going to London, you're going to be moving from city to city, from location to location on your solo trip, and you don't want to have to carry a big old bag of luggage through the tube onto the train and on and off of all the transportation you're taking. And so I would just recommend not having too much stuff. That's what I did, and it made my trip so much smoother and so much less of a hassle, and it made maneuvering from city to city really, really simple. Okay, but here's what everybody really wants to know. How much is it gonna cost you? And so I wanna talk about the price breakdown for when I went and recommendations I have for when you go. When I went, it was obviously still during a lot more pandemic things happening. And at that time, even in the end of 2021, flights were a lot cheaper than they probably are right now with inflation on the rise and all of that stuff. So I will say you may have to make some adjustments, but this advice still carries even through to 2022, and I'm assuming even further down the line. You want to just keep an eye on flight prices and make sure you're staying up to date. Maybe turn on your Google Flight Alert so that when there is a lower price, you get notified if you're trying to plan a trip and you have the ability to be spontaneous about it. My entire trip in total, for all 21 days that I was there, the money that I spent prior, I spent a total of $1,400. My flight was $600 round trip. It was an economy fare on Delta, so it wasn't like I wasn't in first class for sure. It was not refundable. If the flight got canceled, there was no way to even like maneuver out of that. So I was really praying and hoping nothing would go wrong, but nothing went wrong and I was able to go. And yeah, so the total price for that flight was $609. Then I was staying with a friend. So I will say I was able to avoid the cost of like accommodation by staying with someone that I knew. And I stayed with them pretty much the whole time. I visited some family and friends because I'm originally from the UK, so it's home for me. So I was visiting like just my family and some of my friends that I grew up with, and that made that part of the cost not something I had to worry about. I will say that if you don't know anyone in the UK right now, then I know that that's going to be a bigger thing to consider, and I do have some tips on that, but I wanted just to cover the rest. Then I had about I would probably say about $300 that I kind of dedicated towards traveling because I did quite a few mini trips within the UK. I basically went on a beach tour and I was going to all of these different beaches. I went to Brighton, and then I went to like a beach that was like near Kent, and then I went to Sheffield, that's where I'm originally from, and then I went to Birmingham, and so I kind of had to take a few different trains and do a few little trips while I was out there. So I set aside a little bit of money for that. And then the remaining money after, obviously my flight and then the trains that I took while I was in the UK, the remaining money I spent on foods that I tried. I did also buy groceries while I was there, and I did cook at home sometimes. But obviously I'm on vacation and I hadn't had some of the things I missed, like Greg's. Oh my gosh, I miss Greg's so much. And that's just an example, but I hadn't had certain things, or just like good fish and chips with curry in a really long time. And so I did eat out and I went to restaurants and I did all that fun stuff, but I also ate like from home, and then I also went shopping. My parents and some of my friends and family gave me like entire lists of things they wanted me to bring home to them. So I did some shopping while I was there, and that's kind of how the breakdown of the expenditure. And the last thing I had to spend money on, and that's why I mentioned keeping an eye out on travel restrictions, is because I had to pay for these COVID tests when I got there on day 2, and then when I was leaving just a couple of days before my trip, because it has to be within 72 hours of your flight. And so I had to pay for all that stuff. I think the first test was £68, and then the other test, the place that I booked before was booked, so I had to book a different place, and that one was £78. So it is kind of expensive compared to a lot of the things I was paying for, and so that ended up rounding my total to being about $1,400. Okay, I just wanted to mention an app you absolutely need if you're going to be traveling to the UK or literally just any big city. This app is literally single-handedly how I was able to navigate London like a pro, and the app is called City Mapper. I hadn't heard of it before I got to the UK, but when I got there, the friend I was staying with was like, you need to download this app, and I downloaded it and it changed my life. This is not a sponsored video, but I just want to tell you that this app is like very well made, and it's the reason I was able to go everywhere I needed to go. It obviously tracks your location, you input it, and then you can type in where your destination is, and it will show you every mode of transportation possible, the pricing of every mode of transportation, and it will calculate the fastest route. It'll show you when the trains are coming, when they're leaving, how much you're gonna pay. I'm telling you, this app is very well made. So it'll show you bus options, tube options, Uber boat options, scooter options, bike options, taxi options. You can even put in, like, if you have any sort of handicap, it'll show you which route will give you the accommodations you need. I'm telling you, City Mapper is the best app out there for traveling in a new city, especially when you're solo, because many of you know this, but you never want to look lost. You never want to look like you don't know where you're going. That's like a very easy way for people to try to take advantage of you or end up in just a precarious situation. There are people that don't have the best intentions, who look for people that don't seem like they know where they need to be. And so you always want to look confident, like you know what you're doing. So what I would do is I would always look at where I was going before I would kind of pick out, oh, I'm going to take the tube or I'm going to take the bus. And I would kind of figure out where I needed to go before I left. And I would walk out the house and I would kind of walk. I didn't like walk around. And I would tell you, please don't like walk around in London just like, oh, turn left, oh, turn right. Like, you know, kind of see if you can like memorize the route a little bit, get familiar with it, kind of look at your surroundings, make sure you know where you're going. But it was so helpful in navigating the city. And if I ever did feel lost, or if I ever did feel like I don't know where to get off, the app is literally how I was able to do it. It is very important that you double check with your phone company, whatever phone company that you're a part of, to see what international plans they have available. I have T-Mobile, and so I was able to pay $50 for this 30-day international plan that gave me the ability to call and text and then use data while I was in the UK. And so I don't know that every phone company has an option like this, but you want to make sure that when you're in the UK, you are able to use your phone, not just on Wi-Fi, but even on data, so that you can kind of use the maps and use different things and call people and text people just in case, you know, you need just to be safe and you need someone to know where you are. I think that's really important when you're traveling, that, you know, your friends and your family know where you are, know what's going on, and so you need to be able to communicate. I wouldn't recommend going to the UK and then only being able to use your phone on Wi-Fi if you've never been there, because you're not going to know where you're going, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So I would not recommend that. I would definitely say that you need to have data. You need to be able to use your phone and call and message and check in and do all that stuff. So that is one recommendation I want to make sure that I mention, is that you need to go ahead and just make arrangements with your phone company ahead of time. I called probably 2 days before my trip and set it up. So I paid for the 30-day plan. So I actually, when I came back to the US after my trip, I still had a few more days of international data. I guess I could have made some calls if I wanted to, but I just let it lapse. But it was only $50, and that's included in my total $1,400 for the entire trip expenditure. So I thought it was a really great price for that option, 30 days, and I had unlimited data, unlimited calls, unlimited texts. So T-Mobile has that awesome option, but I'm sure other phone companies have something similar. So just check into that and make sure you can use your phone while you're there. I hope that you found this video helpful. I'm so excited to continue to make more content like this. When I got back from the UK, my life got super busy out of nowhere. I had to move to a new city, got a new job, got a new apartment, just was doing so much. So I've finally been in this place where I've been able to slow down, and I have so much footage from the UK that I've been editing, which means that there are more vlogs on the way. So I want you to stay tuned for those. I'm also getting ready to go on another trip to the UK, and so I can't wait to share videos with you, like what I'm packing, stuff we're getting from Amazon and from other stores to prepare for that trip. It's gonna be me and my mom. We're really excited to go together and just explore England even more. And so please stay tuned. I have so much content in store for you, and I hope you found this video helpful. Please leave some comments. I love to just interact with you guys, hear where you're watching from, hear what other questions you have, and connect with you if I can. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.